Revelations chapter 12, verse 1.
Read.
And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
The 12 stars represents the 12 tribes of Israel. I know some people don't like us talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. Listen, no one was complaining about the Jewish people being from Israel, even though there was no proof they were from there. Now it comes out where the true children of Israel is being identified. We are being labeled racist. When they're not racist, with them being the chosen and everyone else being lost. What's wrong with that picture? The 12 stars represents the 12 tribes of Israel, and we're here to tell you that the people in Israel are actually the people fighting against Israel. And we're going to prove it. Read.
Verse 12. And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven.
There appeared another wonder in heaven. What's this wonder?
And behold, a great red dragon.
A great red dragon.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns.
The 7 heads represent the 7 mountains of Rome. The 10 horns represent the European powers that would come out of Rome. And you notice it says red dragon. Red, Esau, Edom. He ate the red pottage, and therefore his name was called Edom, red. To show you this beast or this empire would be the Edomites. Read.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head.
7 crowns upon his head. What is that showing you? That's showing you that these people would have dominion. Remember when Isaac told Esau that there's going to come a time where the yoke will be broke off of them and they would rule for a time? Now we're speaking of that time where these people would eventually get rulership in the earth. They're in their rulership now. They have their crowns now. If you don't believe me, just look at what's going on in Buckingham Palace. Who have the crowns on? Who have the crowns? Prince Charles. What about it? What about it? Raise the volume. They can't hear? Okay, let's see here. One moment. Okay, let's see here. One moment. They're really getting louder than that. One moment. I guess that's the loudest it's going to get. Okay, we'll speak a little louder because that's the loudest it's going to get, okay? Read it.
Verse 4.
Read a little louder.
And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them down to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
And we're talking about the war. As you can see, Herod wanted to kill the child before it was born, to show you he was working with the serpent. Who was Herod? He was an Idumean who infiltrated and became the governor over Israel. The Herodian dynasty were Edomites. They had Gentiles in the temple. Okay? And it's telling you right here that they wanted to devour the child before he was born. There go your war, brothers and sisters. Finish reading.
Verse 5. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron.
This is why they wanted to kill Christ. Because they knew it was through him the promises of Abraham would be fulfilled, and eventually Esau would lose his rulership. The Roman Empire, they would lose everything if they let this child come. They understood prophecy. Read.
And her child was caught up unto the Most High, and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of the Most High, that they should feed her there 1,260 days.
When you look at 1,260, that comes down to 1,260 years. When you add that 1,260 years to the time we fell in 70 AD, it leads you up to the 1300s, when the European powers and the Arabs found our golden city of Timbuktu. That's when they started planning to take us down and to enslave us. It took them some time, but they had to find us first. We were the great kings in Africa. We were the great kings who fled from the Roman emperors, knowing that they were looking to kill and destroy us. This is what this war is really about, brothers and sisters. I'm going to bring this all the way around full circle to the war we are about to go into today. It's on every level. This war is just not on a military level. It's on every level. Read.
Verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world.
He deceived the whole world. Read.
He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now is come salvation, and strength, and the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down.
Go ahead.
Which accused them before our God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
So when Christ was crucified, Satan had no more power to go before the throne and accuse the brother. Read.
And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
And we were overcame by the blood. So now through Christ's sacrifice, that stopped the war between God and his people. So from that point on, there will be a healing process to build the children of Israel again, to one day take the throne. And they understood this. Read.
And by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death.
They loved not their lives to the death. That's why the Romans wanted to kill the disciples and destroy the disciples, because not only was the Most High setting up Israel, through this truth, paganism was being destroyed. We were separating the Gentiles away from their gods and were empowering our force in Christ. It was a spiritual battle between the pagan religion and the new understanding of Christ that could tear down any religion. The Romans wasn't going to go for it. They started martyring and killing the disciples. Read.
Verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth.
Woe unto us that's living here in the earth. See, the angels are celebrating because Lucifer and Satan, he's not Lucifer anymore, he's Satan, cannot come before the throne and accuse the brethren anymore. They were tired of his wretched behind going up into the heavenly realm, accusing us. So once Christ took his blood and shed it over the heavenly tabernacle, Satan had no more realm to go in at sundown before the angels and before the Most High and accuse us. But that didn't stop him from coming to war against us and the earth and the Most High's creation. So he linked up with the Roman Empire with his technology and his science to destroy us. Read.
Woe to the inhabitants of the earth.
Woe unto us. Why?
And of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath.
Go ahead.
Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Because Satan have a short time now, and Christ can be back any second now, he don't care what he destroy in his attempt to destroy the image of the Most High. He don't care if every animal on earth get destroyed. He don't care if the fishes in the sea get destroyed. As long as these people get destroyed, they're looking to totally annihilate the children of Israel. That's what this thing is about. Read.
Verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child.
No sooner as he couldn't get into the heavenly realm anymore, he started persecuting the people who had Christ. Since he couldn't war against Christ, he started fighting against God's people. Slavery, captivity, genocide, vaccinations, fluoridated water, you name it, they're doing it. The attack on families, the rise of homosexuality, genocidal DNA testing, spying, injailing, imprisonment. You think this thing started here? I'm just mentioning the things we have here. They've been doing this from generation to generation up until this time. Psychologically attacking us, saying that we're mentally incapable of ruling, lying and saying that they were the Egyptians because we didn't have the history at that time, or we were so disconnected from our history we believed anything they told us. It's over. You all are finished. You're done. We know now. Read.
Verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 great wings of an eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness.
So those who took heed of Christ's prophecy in Luke, the 21st chapter, they took heed, we took heed, and we fled into the wilderness. We fled into Africa. And that's common sense. If there's war and you have armies around you and they're looking to kill you, common sense will tell you to displace yourself to a safer realm so you can fight another day. Common sense. Well, no, I have faith. So I don't care how many people, armies around me and who's trying to kill me, because I got to show my faith and sit here and get killed by these people to show my faith. No, you showing how simple you are. You're not showing your faith, because Christ said, when you're persecuted in one city, flee into the next. When you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, flee into the wilderness. That's what the Most High say. So don't try to turn it around and say it's no faith if you go. No, it's no faith if you stay. Because you think that Massa House is fine. That Massa House going to take care of you. And listen, they will never do nothing to you. I'd rather die here than go someplace else. You are a slave. That's what you are. The Most High made the earth and you are afraid to explore it. You are the one without faith. Okay? It takes faith to step out and don't know if the Most High going to don't know where you're going to get money from, where things going to come from, but the Most High provide. It don't take faith to sit back on your Social Security and your welfare check and your minimum wage McDonald's job. It don't take faith to do that. What happens when the government, the same government that's looking to kill you, take that away? And it's coming. It's coming. I didn't want to stay off into that, but the Spirit moved me into that because these people kill me with this anti-flee doctrine and trying to say that it's wrong to leave. What's wrong with you people? The Most High made the earth. It's not wrong to leave. Then you have some people, because they didn't leave first, saying, well, it ain't time. Why? Because you didn't leave yet? So when it comes in your mind, it's time. But it's not time when other people explore different opportunities and different things to make a way for others. What you got? See? Okay. All right, good. Finish reading Revelations. There's another thing I want to show.
Verse 14.
Go ahead.
And to the woman were given 2 great wings of an eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and a half time, from the face of the serpent. From the face of the serpent.
So Israel ran into Africa from the serpent. Who's the serpent? The serpent is Satan. Who was he controlling? The Roman Empire. We were running from the Romans. The Romans fell in 193 AD, and we rose up in the Dark Ages, and they eventually took us down after King James ruled. After the Bible was translated, we went into total refuge. We went into total refuge after the Most High accomplished making sure our book would be in English. Now, let's go to Revelations 2 and 9.
Revelations chapter 2 verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
The Most High know the lie of them which claim they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Now mind you, we just showed you in Revelations 12 that we ran from the face of the serpent. So the people that are claiming to be Jews and are not are the same people that chased us into Africa. They claim to be Jews and are not, but they're the synagogue of Satan. They're the same people, the serpent people. They're the Romans. They have deceived the whole earth in World War II. Between 1939 and 1945, they deceived the earth with World War II. They made a pretext with Hitler. They had a Stalin. Stalin was actually Jewish. A lot of people don't even know that. Stalin of Russia was Jewish. He came up with the plan to be able to psychologically attack a society and make total tyranny to round people up. He came up with that idea too. Stalin. He was Jewish. Then you have the Prescotts and the Prescott Bushes who finances, along with IBM, who financed Hitler as a pretext to get Israel. Why did they need Israel? Because they knew they would be dealing with their last attack on us, the genocide against our people at the very end. And they needed political protection. So they started teaching the people in the church that they were the Jews and that at the very end, you must protect them. All the nations are going to go against them, so you must protect them at the very end while leaving us wide open. It tell you in Revelations 2 and 9, I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. They have deceived you into believing, deceived the world into believing that they were the people. And no one is looking to protect us, who all the nations will come against at the very end. That's what it's really about. That's what it's really about, brothers and sisters. Them people, the people over there don't care about the landmass of Israel, only to rule from there. And they know this war will lead to that being utterly annihilated, and the Europeans are going to come back to Europe. But we're going to be there. All the nations and armies are going to come against us. Those who have fled and that are in the Middle East, it's the nations going to come against. Christ is going to have to save us out of that war. This wasn't talking about a war against them over there. If you're looking at the wars right now and you pertain it to what's happening with them, you have missed the prophecies. They have deceived you into focusing on them and not us, the people they are killing, the people they are throwing in prisons, the people that they are destroying, the people they are looking to annihilate, even if they have to kill their own people. Read that in Revelations 2 and 10.
Verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer.
And the Most High says, fear none of those things which thou hast suffered. That's what Yeshaya said. Excuse me, read.
Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison.
So who's in charge of the prison systems that have been destroying us? Who financed the slave trade? In that book, The Secret Relationships Between Black and the Jews, where the Jewish rabbis and people of high valor and Jewish historians are bragging about their hand in the slave trade. The fact they own the ports, they own the ships, they own the plantations, and then they trick everyone by making movies with Christians over African slaves. When really it was them. They control the media. They control your thought. And now they have more protection than us. It seems like homosexuals have more rights than the people who died for civil rights. It seems like people talking about, well, you can't be anti-Semitic. They have taken the race card away from us. Everyone is protected and we are wide open. This is what they wanted to happen. They're blowing up things all over the earth. They're Mossad. They're CIA. They're doing these things. They're the bankers that have put these austerity measures on all the place. And I'm not anti-Semitic for stating the truth. You own the banks. You are the people that have put the debt on the earth. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts. All these people control the finances of the earth, and all of them are Jewish. And I'm not anti-Semitic by stating fact. You are Romans. You have stolen our identity to get political protection while you destroy the earth. And while you fight against us in your secret societies, behind your closed doors and your secret meetings. But the Most High see you. We know you coming back to Europe. They stirring up all these things in the Middle East, knowing that the war is going to be against us. The children of Israel. Look at what our people suffering in Haiti. No one is talking about genocide, talking about humanitarian services and humanitarian intervention in Libya while you killing all our people in Haiti. They dying of cholera over there. You got the armies over there killing our people, putting all types of diseases in the water while you have your ships out there, and that the Europeans are just coming to Haiti in droves to take over the land for pennies on a dollar. But yet you claim you're in Libya for humanitarian reasons? Brothers and sisters, we're going to have to pray hard against the synagogue of Satan and pray for our people and expose what they're doing. They're behind the vaccination program, Bill Gates, Jewish, holding our people at gunpoint in Africa to give them vaccines, knowing the vaccine is going to kill them and make them sterile where they cannot reproduce. This is what's going on, brothers and sisters. We must expose them. The only weapon we have against them is the power of our prayer with the Most High and actual exposure. Because their greatest weapon is secrecy. The fact that you don't know they're Edom, you don't fight against them. They claim to be you so they can have refuge and be in Jacob, God's chosen people. But they're not. They are shaping the legislation we see today that's destroying the earth. Okay? The Pentagon, listen to this clearly. The Pentagon is not controlled by American government. The Pentagon is a military force of Satan against us. The five-pointed star. That's what the Pentagon is. It's the goat head. The serpent who went against the children of Israel. It's not a force, a military force that's protecting America. It's a military force that have a plan to do what Vespasian and Titus did against us in 70 AD. It's the same exact thing. We are at war. We're in the womb fighting against our brother Esau. This is what's going on, brothers and sisters, and I can't state it any other way. Okay? We have to bring it true. We have to bring it like it is. And I know, listen, some people is not going to like it, but we have to tell you the truth about it. Okay? No matter what nation, whether you Ishmael, Edom, Ham, Japheth, doesn't matter what you are. If you're willing to fight on the side of Jacob and fight on the side of the Most High, you are welcome. You are welcome. But understand that you are in our fight. You are participating in our fight. Because the war is against the children of Jacob, the 12 stars, the people who bear the man-child. Now, for those who don't know what happened in 70 AD, I had that also up on Justin TV, and they took it down. So I thought that I would reiterate a few of these things while we have the opportunity, because there was a certain spirit coming out at that time when I was breaking it down. And it was totally deleted. They took it down because it put all the pieces together. Do you know that at the time of 70 AD, when the Romans were killing us, that you had preachers and pastors, or what you would call priests of the children of Israel, preaching for our people not to leave Jerusalem so that the Romans could kill them? Did y'all know that? They was telling people all types of things so that our people couldn't leave. And our people got slaughtered. Women were eating their own children for a lack of food. The Romans entrenched around Jerusalem for 7 years. For 7 years. And cut off food and water. You notice right now where you all live, brothers and sisters, that your reservoirs are controlled. You can't even control what they're putting in your water, the fluoride that's giving you cancer. All they have to do is cut off a switch and you don't have water. And gate it off with military, and they can do the same thing in your neighborhoods they did in Masada. Okay, that's why the Jewish powers and the people that are controlling Israel today own all your utility stations in the world. When they go into a country, the first thing they buy up is the water and the utility. So they're about to do in the world, to the world, what they did to us in 70 AD. But let's not talk about them because we know what their job is. Let's talk about our people. What did our people do in the face of the Romans looking to kill us? Let's get this out of the Josephus. The complete works of Josephus. And I'm going to show you that according to the Bible, there's nothing new under the sun. Because you have people in Babylon becoming fat like a turkey, being prepared to be eaten on Edom's table. On the European powers' table. And telling the people to sit pat. You got some people over there teaching that the ships are going to pick them up and take them someplace. You have other people teaching that the government is going to come to their senses and say, you know what, let's just come together and put our money together and put all the Israelites on planes and send them back home. Let's see, and that's why I put out that scripture, there's nothing new under the sun. Let's see according to the scriptures right here, according to Josephus, who with his own eyes recorded the fall of Jerusalem. What did the preachers and the priests say during the time of our fall? What chapter and verse you at, and what book you're in Josephus, Lloyd?
Wars of the Jews, book 6, chapter 5.
Wars of the Jews. You're in a war, brothers and sisters. Read.
And now the Romans judging, it was in vain to spare what was around the holy house, burned all those places, as also the remains of the passages and the gates. Two accepted, the one on the east side, and the other on the south, both which however they burned afterward. They also burned down the treasury chambers, in which was an immense quantity of money, and an immense number of garments, and precious goods were reposited. And to speak in all a few words, there it was that the entire riches of the Jews were heaped together, while the rich people had built themselves chambers to contain such furniture. The soldiers also came to the rest of the passages that were in the outer court of the temple, where the women and children and a great mixed multitude of the people fled, in number about 6,000. But before Caesar had determined anything about these people, or given the commanders any orders relating to them, the soldiers were in such a rage that they set the passage on fire, by which means it came to pass that some of these were destroyed by throwing themselves down headlong, and some were burnt in the passages themselves.
So here it is, you got the Roman armies buck wild, losing their minds, would have full autonomy to do whatever they want to do to our people. Sound familiar to you? They go into the temple, take all of our gold and raid our gold and take it and put it in their deposits. Sound like what's going on in Libya, don't it? Then they go into Libya, they beheaded our people, they went against Gaddafi and they took his gold. Sound familiar? They freeze his assets and say they're going to give it to the rebels. Who's the rebels? The banks. Read.
Nor did anyone escape of them, nor did one of them escape with his life. A false prophet was the occasion of the people's destruction.
Now it says because of this false prophet, it was the occasion for the people destruction. What did this is the guy they trusted in the Lord. What did this false prophet tell them?
Who had made a public proclamation in the city.
He made a public proclamation. He went before the city. Now here it is, the Romans killing people, destroying people, and our people had a chance to get out. But this prophet came and said what?
Who made a public proclamation in the city that very day, that the Most High commanded them to get upon the temple, and that they should receive miraculous signs of deliverance.
So he told them just to sit around the temple and wait for a sign. Do that sound familiar? These same people get slaughtered because they listen to this guy tell them to sit around. Read.
Now there was then a great number of false prophets, suborned by the tyrants, to impose on the people.
So the tyrants, which is the Romans, actually had their own false prophets go amongst the people. Don't forget, these are spiritual people. So you must have people of great orators that believe who can show them. So the Romans were paying prophets to keep the people still while they were being killed. Read.
Now there was then a great number of false prophets suborned by the tyrants.
Go ahead.
To impose on the people who pronounced this to them, that they should wait for deliverance from the Most High.
Read it again.
Now there was then a great number of false prophets.
There was a great number of false prophets saying what?
Suborned by the tyrants to impose on the people.
Told them to tell the people what?
Who pronounced this to them, that they should wait for deliverance from the Most High.
They should wait for deliverance from the Most High. Do that sound familiar? Do that sound familiar? If the Most High say flee, you flee. Read.
And this was in order to keep them from deserting.
This was in order to keep them still. And you know what? The majority of these people that are saying it is because they don't have enough faith and they don't see how they will live outside of the country. So they're trying to stop everyone else. It's one thing if you personally don't want to leave. But why would you try to stop other people from not being destroyed? False prophets did this. You can read it in Josephus. The Romans had their armies prepared to kill the people. And the false prophets came out and say, listen, the Most High gave me a sign. Come down here to the temple. They were killed at the temple. And then the tyrants paid other prophets to tell the people to stand still while they killed them. Why? Because the Romans knew that these people would eventually bear children that would receive the promise. Read.
And this was in order to keep them from deserting.
And this was a what?
And this was in order to keep them from deserting.
And this was in order to keep the children of Israel from leaving and taking heed to Christ's prophecy. There's nothing new under the sun, brothers and sisters. Edom is sitting back in his secret societies planning a mass slaughter and genocide. They're going to also poison the waters, brothers and sisters. They're going to poison the reservoirs and say it's some outbreak. They're going to do this. See, they tested. They slowly but surely ease little things in the water with no pushback. So they do it slowly. Well, let's put a little Prozac in the water and see what the people say. You tasting the water saying, man, the water tastes funny today. You got Prozac in the water. Then they started putting fluoride, not just any fluoride, nuclear-graded fluoride from nuclear plants in the water. And you drinking the water, making your collard greens with the water. So what's to stop them with their satanic sorcerers, their scientists, from saying, listen, since we control all the reservoirs now, let's just put the outbreak within the water, because the people are waking up. They're not gonna take the vaccines anymore. So let's just poison them all together. Let's start putting it in the water, and then say it's an outbreak, because we control the news. We can tell them whatever we want to tell them, and the people are so stupid they're gonna follow it. This is what they think about us. You got to get in position to control your own water, your own food. You got to be in position to live, to fight. Yeah, you can have faith, but if you're dead, you're in the spirit world. Okay? You're not no place where you can fight. Read.
And that they might be buoyed up above fear and care by such hopes. Now a man that is in adversity does easily comply with such promises.
They say that a man in adversity will comply to such promises. That means sometimes people are in a confusing state. Mm-hmm. So you bring a prophet out who's saying, listen, everything is going to be fine. He's paid by the Roman government. This is your black preachers. These are your pastors. And not only that, you have Israelites now. Israelites out there saying, listen, Most High going to deliver us. Okay. You stick around. It's going to come a time. They're already making it where you can't fly almost. You don't even want to fly. They're going to, yes, you got something?
The airline companies in America are making it, they're withdrawing all flights from state to state, town to town. They're only working on long-haul flights where obviously people are supposed to get out of America, but if that's the starting, where they're saying no flights town to town or state to state, what's the next stage from there?
Yeah, the brother Mark brought out something key. He says that they're coming up with new laws now that saying that the aviation airlines cannot fly you from one small state to another, only if you're going from like one coast to the other coast or long flights. So they're going to start slowing up regular flights. And you notice they're doing all that construction all through the country on your roads. It's coming. It's the same thing we're reading here. Who's doing it? The same people who claim they're going to be protected, that the people are going to come against it. But really the war is against us. You're waiting for a war we're already in. You're waiting for a war. And let me tell you, no one loses. The only people that really lose in this war that's coming, this Iranian war, because Israel won it. Because they're coming right back to Europe. They already got their places secure. The only people lose in this war that's coming with Iran is the people that are left in America. Israel wants this war. Iran wants this war. But the power will leave the whore and come back to the 10 horns, like we read in Revelation 17. So they want the war because they got a place of refuge. All those Jewish people are just going to come back to Europe. They're Romans. They're Romans. They're going to sacrifice America. It's finished. But they got the talking heads on TV smiling and saying, yeah, football season and who doing this, just to make you believe, just to make you stand pat. Just to have you stand pat while they look for total annihilation, the last bang. And guess what? I'm going to say it right here. They're going to do, in America, the government is going to plant another false flag in America. It's going to come. It's coming very soon. Very soon. And that's going to take away any liberties you have left under the Constitution. It's coming. Read.
Now a man that is in adversity does easily comply with such promises.
We're in the book of the Josephus. Read.
For when such a seducer makes him believe that he shall be delivered from those miseries.
So it says it's a seducer that will tell you that you're going to be delivered from those miseries. It's reverse psychology. You see what the Bible's saying. The Bible's saying flee. The Bible's saying leave. All through history, when we were about to be attacked, we went into someplace else. But you have someone test test your so-called spiritual faith by telling you you don't have real faith if you leave. Now, that's reverse psychology. You see what's written, but now you're letting someone test you. It's peer pressure now. So you're going to listen to what someone's telling you opposed to what you're reading. The delivery is what Christ said. When you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, when you see in our neighborhoods armies running around and people shooting people and cops acting out, it's time to roll. That's what Christ said. When you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, flee. So that's what the Bible says. The Bible says if you are persecuted in one city, flee into the next. That's what the Bible says. But you have someone put some peer pressure on you and tell you, well, you know, you don't have faith if you don't sit back and let the government kill you. Hey, you want a glass of fluoridated water? Oh, yeah, here you go. Want some fluoride? Oh, come give me some of the vaccines. You know, the Lord's going to deliver you. Read.
For when such a seducer makes some believe that he shall be delivered from those miseries which oppress him, then it is that the patient is full of hopes of such his deliverance.
Go ahead.
Thus were the miserable people persuaded by these deceivers.
The miserable people were persuaded by these deceivers. People can say what they want about us. We told you to get out. We told you this is what the Most High said, and we gave you the scriptures. We did our part. And you listen to those deceivers that's there, that don't have faith, telling you it's okay to stay where the enemy is going to outright destroy you. And on top of that, you have the same people, and I'm going to get this thing back to America real quick. You got the same people saying that America is going to be utterly destroyed by nuclear annihilation, telling people that it's wrong to leave. What's wrong with this picture? You're teaching people, you got posters of bombs going off. But saying, in the scriptures tell you in Revelation 17, even after Babylon is destroyed, that power going to be with the 10 horns for a space of 1 hour to let you know Europe is going to be ruling at the very end, even once America is already smoking. Use your brain. If you travel around the world, it's amazing looking when you travel around the world how the people who are in charge have a base every place for refuge. There's embassies from other countries all around the earth. You can be in another country and find an embassy. Every place you go, you see the guys dressed in all black, the Jewish guys, with the curly locks. Any place you go, anywhere in the world, you will find them there. They got refuge every place. It's only them making campaigns in America saying, why don't you send the Jews back to Israel and have the churches raising all this money so that they can pay for the people who are destroying everyone to get out of danger. But yet the real Jews, there's no program to get them out of danger. Wake up. Read.
Thus were the miserable people persuaded by these deceivers, and such as belied the Most High himself, while they did not attend or give credit to the signs that were so evident, and did so plainly foretell their future desolation, but, like men infatuated, without either eyes to see or minds to consider, did not regard the denunciations that the Most High made to them.
He says they did not regard the denunciations the Most High made to them. They were so busy listening to the man and the people saying, just stay still. They forgot that Christ told them, when you see armies around you, get up out of there. Read.
Thus, there was a star resembling a sword, which stood over the city, and a comet that continued a whole year. Thus also before the...
Now hold up. Josephus said, before the Romans came in to destroy the children of Israel, the Most High had signs and had the stars the shape of a sword over Jerusalem to let them know to get up out of there. Now don't forget, Esau's gift would be the sword. So the Most High was telling Israel, Esau is about to kill you. Get out of Jerusalem. A month before it happened, a year before it happened, you see a sword in the sky telling them to leave. Read.
Thus there was a star resembling a sword,
There was a star looking like a sword. Read.
which stood over the city, and a comet that continued a whole year.
And it continued a whole year warning the people, but yet they wasn't listening. Here it is, we looking out in the sky, and it tell you during the time of the coming of our Lord that the moon will be turned to blood. 2 nights in a row you see the moon red like blood. And no one is perceiving that it's time, it's war. Read.
Thus also before the Jews' rebellion, and before those commotions which preceded the war, when the people were coming great crowds at the feast of unleavened bread, on the 8th day of the month Xanthicus, and at the 9th hour of the night, so great a light shone up round about the altar and the holy house, that it appeared to be bright daytime, which lasted for half an hour. This light seemed to be a good sign to the naive, but was so interpreted by the sacred scribes as to portend those events that followed immediately upon it. At that same festival also, a heifer, as she was led by the high priest to be sacrificed, brought forth a lamb in the midst of the temple. Moreover, the eastern gate of the inner court of the temple, which was of brass, and vastly heavy, and had been with difficulty shut by 20 men, and rested upon a base covered with iron, and had bolts fastened very deep in the firm floor, which was there made of entire stone, was seen to be open of its own accord about the 6th hour of the night. Now those that kept watch in the temple came but running to the captain of the temple, and told him of it, who then came up there, and not without great difficulty was able to shut the gate again. This also appeared to the vulgar to be a very happy prodigy, as if the Most High did thereby open them the gate of happiness. But the men of learning understood it, that the security of the holy house was dissolved of its own accord.
So the Most High was showing them that they had no more protection. You had some people seeing the signs for what it was, and other people looking at it as a sign of comfort, saying, well, we can stay. So there's 2 ways to look at things. You got the doers and the people who just sit pat and say they're exercising faith, doing nothing. Go ahead.
But the men of learning understood it.
But the men of learning understood that it was a sign to get up out of there. Did they have one guy in particular? Let's go straight to that guy. That one guy that came with that false prophecy. We read him, right? There's one more here. One more. Yeah, go ahead. Get there.
So these publicly declared that the signal foreshadowed the desolation that was coming upon them.
So people knew that these were signs leading to the desolation that would come upon our people, according to Luke, the 21st chapter. Read.
Besides these, a few days after the feast, on the 21st day of the month Artemisius, a certain great and incredible phenomenon appeared. I suppose the account of it would seem to be a fable, were it not related by those that saw it, and were not the events that followed it of so considerable a nature as to deserve such signals.
What was the signal?
For before sunsetting, chariots and troops of soldiers in their armor were seen, running about among the clouds.
So the Most High had chariots in the sky. There were ships in the sky as a sign for the people. Now people are seeing chariots all the time and don't take heed that it's a sign. Read.
For before sunsetting, chariots and troops of soldiers in their armor were seen, running about among the clouds, and surrounding of cities.
And surrounding the cities. Go ahead.
Moreover, at the feast which we call Pentecost, as the priests were going by night into the inner court of the temple, as their custom was to perform their sacred ministrations, they said that in the first place they felt a quaking and heard a great noise. And after that they heard a sound of a great multitude saying, "Let us remove from here." But what is still more terrible was that one Jesus, the son of Ananias, a plebeian and a husbandman, who 4 years before the war began, and at that time, when the city was in very great peace and prosperity, came to that feast whereon it is our custom for everyone to make tabernacles in the temple, and to the Most High in the temple, and began on a sudden to cry aloud, "A voice from the east, a voice from the west, a voice from the four winds, a voice against Jerusalem, the holy house, a voice against the bridegrooms and the brides, and a voice against this whole people." This was his cry, and he went about day by day and by night in all the lanes of the city. However,
They had one guy just going throughout the whole city crying. The Most High had a spirit on him telling him, it's coming. It's going to be a destruction. We're going to be killed. And you know, people look at him, look, he lost his mind. He crazy. What's wrong with you? This is how our people was. Hey, get away from me. This is our people. Looking at this guy with his spirit on him, totally ignoring what's going on here. Read. Read that last part there. Right there.
it says, "Moreover, at the feast which we call Pentecost, as the priests were going by night into the inner court of the temple, as their custom was to perform their sacred ministrations, they said in the first place, they felt a quaking and heard a great noise. And after that they heard a sound as of a great multitude
It was
saying,
a sound saying, read.
Let us remove from here."
So something was telling everyone to remove. It was a spirit, excuse me, that was telling people to move. It was an earthquake. It's crazy, man. And it's all in Josephus. But you had prophets who was paid by the tyrant to tell the people to stay still. Give them the chapter again. They can look in the book of Josephus to see what happened to us in 70. There's nothing new under the sun.
Wars of the Jews, book 6, chapter 5.
Okay. Now, let's go into Ezekiel, the last chapter. The last scripture we're going to go to. Ezekiel 39. Let's go to 30. Let's go to 38. The powers that be understand the prophecies. Let me make this clear, brothers and sisters. The banks control the earth. China and the Asians are not going to go against the European powers. And the reason why is that their economy is tied to the bank's economy. And because China owns so much debt, if they destroy the European powers, they would destroy their own money source. So that's never going to happen. But America itself is being sacrificed. That's the sacrificial lamb in all this. The European powers are sacrificing America. They're the sacrifice. So that all the blame will go on America, not the European powers. And that's the reason they came up with the UN. The UN is a base so that they can make NATO, which is an international army. And with this international army, they would have bases all around the world. Okay? It would be an international army that will eventually take over certain places, like they took over parts of the army of Egypt. They took over certain parts of the army of Afghanistan, Pakistan. Now they've taken over, they're looking to put their bases in Libya. What's going on here, brothers and sisters, is that the NATO army is now preparing for their last war to go against our people who's going to be in the wilderness. That's what this is all about. That's what all these army bases are dealing with. And even when America's destroyed, They understand they have to fulfill that last piece to destroy Jacob before the coming of Christ. We're putting it all together for you, brothers and sisters. So they're telling people in the church that all the nations are lining up to fight Israel. And you have to protect Israel because the nations are aligning to fight them. That's a lie. Israel is financing all the armies that's going to come against us. Yes, they're putting the bases in all these areas you see right now because they know Bible prophecy. Listen to this, because the last time I brought this out over a year ago, they erased it. They took it down immediately. They didn't want no one to see it because they need to work behind that facade of secrecy in order to do what they're doing. And they don't want the people to help us get the promise and to protect us in that time of trouble. Let's go to Ezekiel 38. Read the first verse.
Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 1.
Read.
And the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God, and the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him.
Now Gog is what you would call the chief president of Asia, because we know these are sons of Japheth. So yeah, China do play a prophetic part of this. Now some people say, well, he's talking about Russia too. The original Russians were not Caucasian. All right? The original Russians were Asians. Russia is just what you would call a European buffer in Asia, between Asia and the Middle East. But they are part of the 10 horns. Don't be deceived with Russia. This is talking about the Asians here. Read.
Verse 3. And say, Thus saith the Most High Power, Behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thine armies.
Now when you put hook in their jaws, that means if you got a horse running this way, if you put a hook in his jaws, you will turn him around and make him go a way he don't want to go. So you have to realize China is one of the very few armies that's not in the Middle East right now. But based on what America and Israel is about to do to Iran, it's going to force the Chinese army to come down there too. That's the hook in their jaws. They're going to be pulled into this war. The Valley of Jehoshaphat, which is actually the place where all the nations will eventually be judged when Christ returns. But when they get down there, they're going to be looking to destroy us. This is the key piece a lot of people don't see. When they went into Libya, they were beheading our people in Libya. These armies are being prepared to kill us. And that's what I'm putting out there so y'all can understand. The Israel that they are coming up against is the real children of Israel, not the state of Israel that was placed there as a proxy in 1948. Read.
And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia,
which is the Medes, which is Iran. Go ahead.
Ethiopia, and Libya.
That lets you know that eventually the Western world is going to take over Libya. Based on what we see in here, they're going to take over Libya. Read.
Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shields and helmets. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah, of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepared for thyself. Thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
Be thou a guard unto them. Unto who? Let's see. Read.
After many days shalt thou be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people, against the mountains of Israel.
Against the mountains of Israel. Read.
Which have been always waste.
Which have been always waste. It's talking about God's people. that have been desolate since 70 AD. It's not talking about the Israel over there today. They're not waste. They own the banks. They own everything you see. They're going to try to come against us. This is Jacob's trouble it's talking about here. Read.
But it is brought forth out of the nations.
But it was brought forth out of the nations. That means the Israelites started leaving the places that they were enslaved in and started going into a certain area. Read.
And they shall dwell safely, all of them.
And they shall dwell safely, all of them. So there will be a safe place for the children of Israel, according to prophecy. Read.
Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee. Thus saith the Most High Power. It shall also come to pass that at that same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought.
So they're going to think an evil thought. What will they think to do against our people who have fled these other nations and are safe? Read.
And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages.
This is how you know it's not talking about Israel. Israel is not an unwalled village. They have guns, they have military, they have a port, they have protection all around Israel. You can't walk around Israel without seeing guns. So these people here that are safe are being protected by the Most High. An unwalled port, they have protection all around Israel. You can't walk around Israel without seeing guns. So these people here that are safe are being protected by the Most High in unwalled villages. This is talking about those who have fled. Read.
I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, and having neither bars nor gates.
We're not going to need bars nor gates. The Most High will be our protector in the wilderness. And this they know. Read.
To take a spoil and to take a prey.
They think they're going to take us down again. It's not going to happen. Read.
To turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods.
So the Most High going to make sure we have cattle and goods. Yeah, we're going to be pilgrims, but once we're in that last area, the Most High is going to have those Middle Easterns and the other nations give us everything we need to sustain. And the Most High is going to be a protection, a hedge around us during this period in the wilderness. Read.
That dwell in the midst of the land, Sheba and Dedan, and the merchants of Tarshish, with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, Art thou come to take a spoil?
Are y'all coming to try to take us down again? You think we went through all this hell since we fell in 70 AD to fall again? It's not going to happen. Read.
Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold?
So we're going to find that silver and that gold that Joseph buried in the desert. We're going to find it. It tells you in the book of Jasher the areas in which Joseph and the Israelites buried gold that we would get on our way into the wilderness. None of the nations can get it. It's going to belong to us. See, they didn't think we would go into these books. Okay, they put so much stuff out there, maybe we'll get them on crack or something. Okay, maybe we'll get them drunk and high. Yo, just give them a, let's put a pole in the middle of the room. Let's put them there. They're not going to read. The Most High gave us this understanding because we are going to get it all back. And there's nothing any nation, anybody out there can do, nothing you can do about this. We are relentless and we will not stop until we get what was promised. That's why we said when other people coming in to spy us and look at what we're doing and look at what we're teaching, listen. We say, listen, don't block anyone. Let everybody through. Because this thing is going to be fulfilled and you will see it with your own eyes. We will get what the Most High promised. And before it's all said and done, everyone is going to know that the Bible is real. Read.
To take away cattle and goods, to take a great spoil.
They think they're going to take a great spoil. You read the 14th verse.
Therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto God, Thus saith the Most High Power, and that day when my people of Israel dwelleth safely.
When my people of Israel dwelleth safely, read.
Shalt thou not know it?
Did y'all not know that the Most High was guiding them to come to the mount where he was? Did y'all know that? See, and this is why they try to stop people from traveling right now. Not because of some so-called terrorists. Listen, the underwear bomber is somebody that the government, got on the plane. These are guys who were in jail, on parole, and they were paid by the government for these public events. This guy got on the plane with no passport. That's not possible. Anyone that that travels, know that's not possible. It was the government, the CIA, that got the underwear bomber on the plane. Okay? Just like that bomber, that so-called Christmas tree bomber in Texas. In Denver. He was also paid by government. They was telling them that it's just a fake proxy drill, so that to prepare people for terrorism. He thought he was doing a favor, and they were setting them up so that they can say that he was a black terrorist. There's no terrorism going on, brothers and sisters. The only terrorist that's going on is your government. They're trying to stop you from traveling. They know the prophecies. They know that you will receive power with the Most High when you get out of your condition and leave your captivity and depend on the Most High. And Esau's government, you're going down. You're going down. All the nations who don't believe in this truth and don't follow the disciples and the apostles that the Most High set up, you're going down with your government. Thus saith the Lord. The book of Obadiah, read it. You either get with Christ or you fall with the curses of Edom. So the nations are looking to come against us. The Jewish people hijack that and say that they're the people who was prophesied to go back into Israel, so that all nations can protect them, when really they are financing the armies that will come against us in the wilderness. Brothers and sisters, we put it together for you. Research it yourself. It cannot be disputed. This is the truth, brothers and sisters. This is the time. And this lesson was called the war because you're in it. They're going to stir Iran up, like it says in Isaiah the 13th chapter. And he's going to go against Babylon and make it desolate. And the powers who control the world don't care, because America is expendable anyway.